Okay, welcome back everybody. Let's get into the physical anatomy of these pistols and see what they look like next to each other, side by side. My first impressions, guys, is I don't see a $300 difference just by looking at them and by picking them up. Both of these pistols have been cleared. There are no magazines in these, and they have been cleared and safety checked, so they're safe to handle. Overall impressions, I will say that the Canik is a little bit more heavy, slide heavy. You can actually feel it when you pick it up versus the Glock. That does feel a little bit more balanced, a lot more balanced actually. But for me, the thing that does it is the grips. So you'll notice that the grip angle on the Canik is a little bit more straight up and down versus the Glock that's a little bit more slanted. More people, I think, that I've helped out and seen feel more comfortable with the grip angle that points more naturally for them when the grip is more straight up and down. It feels more natural in the hand versus a grip angle that's a little bit more slanted. Now, I said most people, not all, because we do have people that train with Glocks, and naturally for them that's going to be more natural than something that's like that. So what's good for one person is not going to be good for everybody, but as a whole, I think this grip angle is going to be a little bit better. Also, for people with smaller hands, check this out. Look how far over my thumbs can reach on the Canik. Look how big the magazine release is on that. So if you got tiny hands and you know you're going to be into doing one-handed magazine releases, that's a bonus right here. So for me, the grip angle and the grip size is perfect. You compare it to the magazine release on the Glock, very tiny. And I will bring up this too, the takedown levers, bigger on this guy. Check that out, right? Really big, very easy to use versus a little itty bitty tiny lever, takedown levers here on the Glock, and they both break down the same. Basically, you will dry fire in a safe direction, release the tension on the spring, pull down on both sides, and the slide comes off just like that. And I'll go over what's inside of that a little bit later. Let me see if I can get this up there. Perfect. Okay. Pretty much you got the same type of trigger safety system as well. For those of you who don't know, that this is where the safety is, so without depressing that, your firearm will not go off. You can see there, and you can see when depressed it goes back a little bit further. Both pistols have rail systems in the front. They both have stippling on the front and the back strap. Slide release is a little bit longer on the Canik than the Glock, but they both sit very close as not to get snagged on a holster or your belt if you're carrying it. And you'll get to see that as I start moving the pistols around. In fact, let me just do that now. I'll start off by showing you what they look like back to back here, so you can see the slide difference. You can see serrations in the rear, nothing in the front. Pick it up this way. You can see that the sights on the Canik, I really like this 3-dot system with that line right in the back of the rear sight on the Canik here. Really helps you keep your attention on that dot, the front sight. Glock has your standard U rear sight with the front dot. Nothing special there, not my most favorite sights for sure, but you can have a look at what those look like. The width of the slides is about the same. The Canik does have a taper to it, which I really enjoy. I think the PPQ, the Walther PPQ, has the same type of tapering, as well as some of the other like HKs have that taper. For me, what it helps do is really bring your attention to the center of the slide and keep your attention on that sight radius pointed down range. And you can see the decocker here also. That's the firing pin here on the Canik. So what the decocker does is when you press it, it helps make the pistol safe. Now you know that you're not in danger of the pistol going off accidentally. So that's a feature that this has that the Glock does not. You can see the stippling on the rear strap here. Turn it around this way so you can kind of see, the Glock is very simplistic, very flat featured. You can see the slide on the Canik is very contoured. There's a lot of milling involved in it. So there's a lot of more detail done. And both of these sights are adjustable as well. They're just drift adjustable. There's some screws here on the top that you loosen and you can drift them. For the Glock, you just need the Glock punch. And that kind of sums it up. Both of these are very well done. And that's what they look like. So if you're looking at the Canik as a first pistol, it's kind of worth it. We're going to see how they both matched up each other in the accuracy department. But before doing that, what I want to do is kind of break them down so you guys can see what's inside the slide and what the trigger groups look like on each. So what I'll do is I'll take a quick pause here, I'll break them down, and then we'll get on to the accuracy test. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, and we're back. What's on Stumpy right now is a Glock slide, kind of pulled apart there. Got the spring, barrel, and slide. Just wanted to show you that the Canik breaks down just the same way. This pistol has been safety checked. There's nothing in the mag well. Safety checked it there. Nothing there. Always, guys, when you're dry firing, make sure it's pointed in a safe direction. Know what's beyond your target. Here's how you do it. You squeeze off a little, and then what you're going to do is pull back the slide to release the tension. Pull down on both takedown levers, and it slides up right like that. And that's exactly how a Glock breaks down. I'm going to put the Canik spring next to the Glock spring. You can see the Canik spring is a little bit thicker. And here's the barrel. And I'll pick these up so you guys can see them side by side. But the Glock and the Canik barrel, almost the same length. And those are the slides. I'm going to pick it up just at an angle so you can see that the Glock slide, of course, is very simplistic. Very plain. The Canik slide has a lot of milling in it. Both have rear serrations in them. But those are the slides. Let me move on to the barrels here. Here's what the barrels look like. About the same length. The blocks are a little bit different sized. And you can see here, the Glock is in this hand, my left hand. Those are looking down inside. These are a little bit dirty. I just got done shooting them. You can see, the buildup on my fingers and down in the barrel. And then I'll show you what these look like on this side as well. Just like that. Perfect. And again, the Glock is in my left hand. Let's bring in the frames really quickly, and then what I'll do is I'll put them back together, and I want to show you what the triggers look like when the pistols are assembled. My left hand will be the Canik. Bing! And the Glock's on the right hand. And there you go. You can see that they're very similar in how they work. And, they feel like they're the same weight. There'll be slides of that later on, though, on a scale. But that's it. Hard to imagine that these polymer frames are as, durable as they are. In fact, I wonder if 3D printing... a lot of legal issues with that going on right now for AR-15s, but that's what that looks like. You got the guide rod springs on there. You can see the Canik springs a little bit thicker. I'll slap these back together, and then we'll do some quick trigger demonstrations, and I'll have what the trigger pulls on both of them, and then we'll get into the accuracy testing. Okay, guys, be right back. Okay, guys, back again. Before I get started, just want to verify that both of these pistols are empty. There are no magazines in both of these, and there's no ammunition in the room, as well as in the chambers themselves. So these have been checked. Let's get into the trigger. I will give the advantage to the Canik. This thing feels like a PPQ trigger. Check it out. So here it is. There is the take up. Very crisp break. I'll show you what the reset looks like. Really, really short reset. Again, here's the take up. Very crisp break, not mushy at all. And here's the reset. Clack. Okay, let's do the Glock. Here's the Glock. There's the take up. Very, very mushy, the Glock trigger. Break, very mushy. Here's the reset. Okay, not bad. Pretty crispy. Here's the take up again. Wow, so mushy. And here is the break. Well, I'll leave it up to you guys. But I'm not a trigger snob at all, but I will say that I like the way that the Canik trigger feels. I got some slides that are going to be rolling in to show you what the trigger pull gauge showed. Let's move on to that, and then we'll get into the accuracy and reliability tests. Okay, guys, what we're looking at is the trigger pull test there. So you can see the Glock at 6.2 average, Canik at 5.9. Kind of like what I was mentioning earlier. I like the feel of the Canik trigger. So the Canik wins in that category. I got some weight slides here. So the overall weight of the Glock is 1.61, Canik at 1.99. So the Canik, like I was mentioning earlier, is a little bit heavier. Come to think of it, I don't even know if I'm saying Canik right. It could be pronounced another way. Whatever, let's just roll with it. Glock slide 1.09, Canik slide 1.32. Canik slide is heavier. Frames, Glock 5.3, and the Canik frame there is 7.1. So overall, Canik is heavier, so Glock wins in the weight category. It's a little bit lighter. Next slides I got coming in here are at 5, 7, and 10 yards. You can see the 5-yard grouping there, pretty close. Good grouping. 7-yard opens up a little bit. 10 yards, about the same. This next one's at 15 yards. I took one shot at the green dot. The Glock's up there, Canik there, a little bit closer on the bottom. It's probably my crappy fundamentals that did that, so I'm going to call that a draw. Double tap here, Glock, same hole there on the left, you know, as fast as I could. There on the right, you see the Canik. Here's a 5-shot group as fast as I could. The Canik's got a little bit typer group there, but you know, it's to me same. I mean, it's not too big of a deal there. Here's a 10-round magazine dump for us cats in Hawaii as fast as I could. I got a little bit better grouping in the Glock here, but I'm going to call that a draw between the two. This next picture is at Cocoa Head, 25 yards out. If you add up all the target points on there, it's going to be 28 for the Canik here, and then the next side is 27. So the Glock does win that by 1 point. I do want to go over some of the things that you get with the Canik that you're not going to get with the Glock. For example, you get 2 18-round magazines stock, and I know you can get 15 and other types of magazines, but I'm just talking right out of the box. That's what you get. So I will say that though, Glocks are more customizable, so they do win in that category. You can get more ammunition bumped into your bump stick there. But as stock goes, 18-round mag is pretty awesome. You get a retention holster, paddle holster. Basically, you get 2 back straps, speed loader, benefit there, Canik again. And you also get a lifetime warranty through Century Arms versus the 1-year warranty you get with Glock. The Century Arms warranty is for repair and defects in material and workmanship, but only good for the original user. Also, Gunbroker had an ad running that at 60,000 rounds is still good for a 5-inch group at 25 yards. So there's testing going on out there, guys. So if you look at everything put together, you know, reliability was excellent on both. I shot 115, 124 grain 9mm through it. You know, you look at the pricing, $300 difference. I don't see it. You know, the finish of the Canik is fine. Reliability is great. Accuracy is great. You get more stuff with it. I'm going to give the edge to the Canik, guys. So whether, you know, I don't care if you've been shooting for a long time or if you're coming in wanting a good deal on a pistol, check out the Canik. Right now, it's a $25 rebate on getting one of these. You can get them pretty cheap. And that's the end of the review. Well, guys, as always, it's been a pleasure. If you like the review, okay, give me the thumbs up. And if you want to see more of my videos, hit subscribe.